Oh my God, we are back for yet another episode of Grindhouse Chic. I am your host, Robert Schneider, and as always, I am joined by Brian Baldwin, Matt Armstrong, and man, we are in week 2 of STECKVEMBER, and I wish we weren't. I wish we
Oh.
but
Didn't
Like
enjoy
you
this
wish we
one, huh?
were you wish we were just starting for the first time?
I love
Or-
wild guitar so much. I mean, I'm just gonna say because we're gonna talk about some other stuff before we get into it. Tarantino went from Reservoir Dogs to Pulp Fiction. He improved. Steckler went from wild guitar to the incredibly strange creatures who stopped living and became mixed up zombies. He had a larger budget. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh man, so have you guys watched anything good this week?
I watched, I don't know if they were all good, but I watched quite a few movies this week. I went and saw Black Panther yesterday morning.
How was it?
I thought it was really good. If they can continue with stuff like that, I think they might be on a turnaround. But
I'm a little disappointed. I've heard they've changed the origin of Namor, or he's no longer Atlantean.
Yeah, that is true.
I know why. I know why they did it, because otherwise it becomes redundant Aquaman.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was cool the way they did it, though. At least it like tied in really well with like Black Panther and Wakanda and everything. So I didn't mind it too much, but yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. What else? I watched that Norway movie from Terror Vision.
How is that?
You know, I didn't know what I was getting into, and I guess I'll say that I did not expect it to go where it went, but I thought it was just okay.
So, all right, let's talk about that, because we're all assuming right now that Terror Vision is leaving OCN because they're starting their own subscription service, and we've been talking offline about their new subscription. And Matt, you said you might subscribe to it.
Yeah.
That's because you have fear of missing out on any movie whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes sense for me, at least. Like you said, I get them all, so it ends up being cheaper through that subscription than having them halfway off on Vinegar Syndrome. So I don't know.
You know what else is cheaper? Not buying them.
That's true. That is true.
I mean,
I think I'm pretty sure it's only like a couple $100, right? Like
$224.
Okay, but that's for how many films?
So you can join the subscription at any point during the year that you want, like, and then you just get their next 10 releases whenever you join. So it's pretty good. It ends up being like $22.50 a release, and I'm pretty sure that one they put out was like that like double feature one.
Video violence.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that one was a kind of a more pricey one. So
that was $40.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, it was 40. Like with our Vinegar Syndrome gave us a discount code for that one.
But I found myself not buying that many of their movies, and there's one I wish I didn't buy, which is the Florida Film documentary. So yeah. I mean, I was thinking about this the other day, like, what labels would I buy if they left OCN, or ones that aren't even involved with OCN would I subscribe to? And I've narrowed it down to 4. If Severin did a subscription, I would probably do theirs, even though I don't buy their stuff every month. If Culture Shock did it, I would probably do it. If AGFA did it, yes. And same thing with Fun City. Now, non-OCN, if Cauldron had a subscription, I would definitely jump into that, even though I don't buy their stuff every month. But I wonder why TerrorVision is leaving. If they are leaving, I wonder why they are.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if you go read the subscription description, subscription. Yeah, I said that right. I think it says that I think it says they are leaving to do their own thing, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe they just want guaranteed sales, but I don't know if everyone's like me, which they probably aren't. People are all already buying all their stuff anyway.
Well, I think that's the ease of them being a partner label, is that you just go and hit buy when you're buying your regular Vinegar Syndrome stuff, and you don't. And generally, a lot of people, no offense, I'm going to use you example, Matt, just go buy.
Oh yeah.
Which I'm going to tell you was not the name of the song. That's not what the song was referring to. But no, it's. I mean, let's face it. I don't think any of these labels would have their customer base if it wasn't for the OCN partnership, with the exception of AGFA, because they were a label beforehand and had distribution in Barnes and Nobles. Like the ones I went to, they carried AGFA discs.
So one thing, are the slipcovers kind of worked in through Vinegar Syndrome as well? Like, are they taking care of all that and selling them too?
I'm sure it's part of the manufacturing cost.
Yeah, because it's said in there, if you're a subscriber for the TerraVision one, you get guaranteed slipcovers. So I don't know if they're going to start to do their own thing, or if they're just still going to buy what Vinegar Syndrome will sell them, I guess.
I mean, I'm sure it's not what Vinegar Syndrome. I'm sure they just go to the slipcover manufacturer and go,
yeah,
can we? Sure, pay this much. But I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say they definitely can't like go to a lesser quality on that. That would be kind of silly. So,
well, I mean, even Severin has upped their quality to the Vinegar Syndrome standards, and I'm happy because their slipcovers sucked.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is TerraVision the one that's putting out the Linnea Quigley workout?
Yes.
Yeah. I have a bootleg DVD of that. I don't know if I need to upgrade.
Can't you watch that on YouTube?
Probably. I mean, it's you know me. Had a few sips one night and was on the old eBay and was like, I'll take that. I want to see Linnea Quigley working out with some zombies.
You just watch Nightmare Sisters.
And
Vice Academy 1.
Well, I can't do Vice Academy anymore because I sold those.
Why would you sell that? That movie is pure genius.
Well, I lost my job. So,
okay.
Kind of needed to put some food on the table. And honestly, it doesn't have much rewatchability for me. The only reason I rewatched it the first time was because we were doing our discussion with Rick Sloan.
Man, I don't
really like that movie. I'll be honest. I mean,
I wept when Vice Academy was released. I wept because I would watch all those on USA Up All Night, and I had never seen them uncut before or in widescreen. They're bad movies, no doubt about it, but there's a certain charm to them. And
I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't regret it a little bit. I was just being realistic when I was like, if I have to shave some stuff off, like this one's just kind of sitting there. So, and people pay crazy, stupid money for it. So,
oh yeah, because wasn't that VSA 1?
No, Evil Town, or not Evil Town, fucking Savage Harbor Dawn. One of those is the first one.
They're all the initial runs of VSA were probably the best stuff that they put out. And then,
over the place with it. I feel like the first few releases were really solid. Again, Vice Academy not my favorite, and then I feel like it got really weird. But I feel like these last, well, hell, I'd say probably like the last several months at least, I feel like they've sort of hit a nice stride. I haven't watched all of them, but
I haven't watched the new one yet because I'm still, taking a break from horror movies. Though I think I'm going to end that tonight, even though I did see Terrifier 2 last week. which I did not like.
I was thinking about not taking a break from horror, and then I put on. I was in a good roll last night of watching movies, and then I put Stanley on, and that just sucked any willpower to watch horror movies out for me. So
I actually liked Stanley. I think I'm kind of in the minority on that one. I thought it was pretty cool.
William Griffey is a hard director to watch. I picked up the box set Arrow put out because it was going out of print, and I was able to find it on Amazon for pretty cheap at the time, still wrapped. And I watched a couple of the movies, and I was like, okay, this is much better than the Bill Rebane box set, but not by much. Though Stanley does star Chris Robinson, who directed a movie that appeared on Garage House starring Mickey Rooney called Intruder, which is so bad it's almost good.
Okay.
He was also a star on daytime soap operas for a while. Like he was on General Hospital as well.
Well, I watched a non-horror one just a little bit ago, actually. We watched See How They Run. You guys familiar with this one?
It is on my list on HBO Max, my queue.
Yeah. It's a new murder mystery set in the 50s based on Agatha Christie. Everything's very on the nose in it. It's really good though. It's quirky, but it's got Sam Rockwell and Adrian Brody in it as well as several other people you all would recognize. I thought it was great. My wife loved it. She's an Agatha Christie nut though, so Matt, I don't know about your lady, but if she's into that stuff, that would be a good watch for you guys to do together.
Yeah, I don't know if she is or not.
Do you?
Okay. I don't know everything she likes.
Sorry, I guess in my head, because I hear about Agatha Christie so much that I just assume everyone else's significant others are little true crime nerds like mine. I don't know.
I was a big fan of Encyclopedia Brown.
Yeah,
he solved mysteries in 5 pages.
Okay.
A lot faster than Sherlock Holmes or Inspector Poirot or the other one. But I've been reading right now. Going back to See How They Run. I saw the trailer for that, and I was like, "Oh shit, Wes Anderson has made a movie this quickly," because it looks like a Wes Anderson movie.
100%. We actually looked it up after it started. We're like, "Is this a Wes Anderson film?" Because it is very much stylized like one for sure,
and it has a lot of the same cast members. But yeah, I might watch that today. But I've been reading the Tarantino book, Cinema Speculation, which I highly recommend. And thankfully, somebody on Letterboxd has put a list together of all the movies that he talks about in the book. And I am going to start watching the ones I have not seen if they are streaming for free.
Nice. So what is that book? Is that like stuff that he got inspiration from for his movies? Is that what that is?
It's a weird book because it's film criticism. It's also his story about seeing these movies and how it related back to him.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Like his mom just let him see anything as a kid. These days, Child Protective Services would have been called on him.
Trying to think of others that I've watched. I did watch Blood Delirium from Vinegar Syndrome. Have you guys watched that one?
I haven't watched any of the horror films except for the werewolf versus the vampire woman.
Man, I said at first, I was like, I feel like this one's going to go under a lot of people's radar, but I've actually seen quite a bit of stuff going on in the groups about it, and I'm glad because it's just a really sleazy, perverted fucking mess, and it's in all the good ways though. Like it's
All
I
right.
think it's a breath of fresh air. It's like, okay,
All right.
this is
Brian,
one that
Brian,
yeah.
Brian.
What's up?
What did you say? A sleazy, perverted piece of mess?
A sleazy, perverted mess in all the good ways, all the right ways.
As we were talking before the show, and I wasn't going to talk about it, I have gone down a YouTube rabbit hole that makes any Vinegar Syndrome movie look like a Disney film. This story has everything that a VS fan would like. Trolls, and by trolls I mean trolling. Incest. Received violence.
Not of approval.
A fire. And it's all real. And I am hooked on this story because this guy is making a 60-part documentary so far. I don't think it's finished yet. But fuck. I don't know how I never heard about this story until this week.
So, give the viewers some context.
So it's a documentary?
It's a documentary, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll send you a link after the show, or I'll put one down below. Not for the faint of
heart. This is a YouTube channel. You gotta plug it. These people are watching like, what the fuck's he talking
No,
about?
this guy has millions of views on it. I don't need to plug it. I don't need, in fact, we are one subscriber away from 50. We are sitting at 49. He has 1.1 million subscribers. He doesn't need me plugging his channel from New Zealand or Australia or wherever it's from.
Okay.
But
speaking of, go ahead.
I digress. Oh, I'm sorry, Brian. Did you watch anything else besides Blood Delirium? Because I am excited to watch that one.
Yeah, I was just going to say that the other one that I have been, this is not just like I've been excited recently. I watched one that I have wanted to see for several years now. It's an old SOV movie from, I think it was 84. And it's kind of been hailed, at least in the groups that I've seen, as like the SOV to end all SOVs, kind of like the big one. And it's called Black Devil Doll from Hell.
Oh, I've seen that one. I love it.
Did you really? Now I'm not saying I didn't like it, but holy shit. It took me three days. So I was so excited, and I was just like, holy shit. Now, part of me, when it was over, I was like, okay, I think I kind of love it, but I just have to admit, it was a little bit of a chore, and I was kind of like, damn.
Yeah, I picked that one up probably over a decade ago. It was on a double feature with Tales of the Quadred Zone or whatever.
That one just got a release too. These are coming out from Massacre Video, by the way.
I don't know who put these out, but I was at a Scarecrow Video, and I saw it on the shelf there, and I am like, all right, this has an amazing title. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna buy it. Because back then I would just buy anything, and I bought it, and I was like, this is just dumb fun. And I'm not a fan of shot on video, but he makes Chucky look pretty vanilla.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely some funny fucking lines. So that there's, I mean, it's all in the title. I mean, it's a killer doll, ventriloquist doll looking thing, but it's super cheap and low budget, and the actors, dare I even use that term, are delightfully awful. How was the quality of the one that you want? Now, this was just a DVD release, and thank God, because honestly, if I had bought a Blu-ray that looks like this, I'd be pretty pissed.
Hold on, you buy a lot of Saturn's core.
Well, now hold on now. Okay. Fair enough. That's valid. But the quality was pretty rough. I mean, I guess they just did the best they could with what they had, of course. But
I don't remember. It wasn't great.
I
think that's why it was a double feature.
Were these cassette tapes or were they DVDs?
It was a DVD.
Okay.
Like I don't remember who put it out. I can go check it, see it on my shelf. But I was pretty excited because years later I was watching a documentary of VHS collecting and the tales of, again, I can't pronounce it because I don't know what it's called because I still have never watched it. The Quadred Zone is like one of the most sought after videotapes out there. So few were made. Now I might.
Yeah, I might pick that one up. I don't really know anything about it other than that it's the same director.
Yeah, I think these were the two movies that he made.
Okay.
You watch anything else that's good?
No, like I said, that one took me 3 days, and then yeah, that's it. I think that's all I've actually managed to watch this week. It's kind of weird.
I watched Bad Girls Go to Hell, the Doris Wishman movie.
Any good?
My review of it read, I like the idea of Doris Wishman more than I like her movies.
Okay.
Is it in one of the sets?
Yeah, it's in volume 2.
Okay.
Then I watched Cutter's Way, which I really enjoyed, which led me to go watch The Last Picture Show, which I love. And then I watched Brian De Palma's Blowout, which I watched the Blu-ray of it, thinking one day I might, upgrade to the 4K, and I'm like, no, this is just good enough for me. I bought it years ago and never opened it until this week. But
I watched Amityville Curse. I forgot about that.
I've seen a lot of mixed reviews on it, more bad than good.
Yeah, it definitely drags. There is a level of charm to it that only weirdos like us would find. Doesn't have honestly, it doesn't really have any rewatchability for me. I've seen it and I'm fine with that.
Now, it doesn't even take place in the house, does it?
No, it's like, I don't want to say much because I don't want to spoil it. Just watch it, I guess. I don't know.
unless I can stream it free somewhere, I'm not going to. It just, I think the 4 movies that Vinegar Syndrome released, the Cursed Items films, were a stretch. That those were Amityville films. Oh, these were from the house, and they're haunted as well. I mean,
this is like the Amityville house is like on the market. These people I feel like I'm honestly forgetting some of the plot though, because like it has like the infamous windows in it and shit, but I think that's like it. I probably shouldn't even be talking about this movie. I can't fucking really remember any of it.
That's because it's a Canadian film.
Yeah.
And you know what? The Amityville house is in America. It's an American haunted house story, not a Canadian haunted house story.
There is one character in it though, like God, it makes my fucking mouth sore. Like he has a cigarette in his mouth every time you see him. Now there comes a part in the story where he tries to quit or whatever, but I just I used to smoke cigarettes, and obviously I still do my vape thing, but I'm trying to cut back on that. But yeah, I just kept like thinking, man, his mouth is like gotta be sore as shit. Like
I'm sure it was the actor who was constantly smoking, and then the writer director's like, we gotta do a part just to give a hint that he needs to quit.
Yeah, it was nasty too, because there's like scenes where, because his love interest, or his wife, I'm sorry, is in the movie as well, and like she'll be like coming on to him and he's like kissing her arm and licking her and shit, has a cigarette in his hand the whole time. It's just like, ugh.
It would have been more Canadian if he was eating bacon and drinking a Labatt's or a Molson.
Yeah,
as he was having a smoke.
Oh man, that's funny.
I don't know. I did not order it, and I think if I looked at that over something else that I picked up, I would have ordered it, but I'm glad I didn't. I would have
It
been
was just, yeah, a little bit of it was like a completist because it's like, I have all those other films and stuff, and it's like, well, I don't want to miss out on having this one.
but it wasn't
there is. No, I know.
It wasn't official. It's like the Amityville Karen space or whatever all these new ones are. They have nothing to do with the original. It's like, if you have an idea for an Amityville film, write it, and there's no need for it. There's no need. It's just an in-name only continuation.
There is one that I want to see called the Amityville Vibrator.
Well, I'm right now writing the sequel to it.
This is real, by the way.
Yeah, I know. And I'm writing the sequel to it, the Amityville Fleshlight.
Nice. Yeah, I don't know.
Just a spoiler, it has teeth.
Want to pick up that Blu-ray.
The inside is the inside of the house.
Yeah. No, the Fleshlight has the windows on it that look like that.
You stick your dick in it, it's like, get out.
But I paid $38,000 for this. I'm gonna fuck it till my dick is empty, or my balls are empty.
Oh shit! I'd buy that movie, Robert.
It's gonna be a quick movie.
Oh, that's funny.
I know what I'm doing today. I'm going to write the Amityville Fleshlight and sell it to the Fleshlight Corporation. Genius marketing, Schneider. Genius marketing.
Man, I didn't realize there were so many of these. Just in 2022 alone, I'm seeing like 6 of them so far.
Oh God, are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't know it went that deep now.
Yeah.
Crap.
So many.
I bet you none of them are good.
There's so I just searched for Amityville and it found 70 films with that in the title.
What's the funniest?
Whoa.
Let me go back here. I did see the Amityville vibrator. They've got Amityville gas chamber.
Yeah.
And the cover just shows a gas chamber with one of the windows on the wall.
Right, that makes
with a
no
gas
sense.
mask next hanging to it.
Hey, Matt, can you do me a favor? Can you see if the death penalty is legal in New York? I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either.
That means that movie is not based in reality.
Yeah, there's a ton. Last year we got Amityville in the Hood.
Okay.
Man.
Oh man, that reminds me. You guys need to and I really mean this. We talk a lot of movies. Matt, you're gonna want to add this to your watch list, but bump it to the top. If you guys want to watch some of these pieces of crap that we watch all the time and actually find the good in it, this is a good palate cleanser. It's called The Hip Hop Witch. Okay, it's on Prime.
I think I've seen that.
That is like, now I found this one, Steve. This was during Steve and I's venture to, find the worst film. And holy shit. I mean, number one, have to watch it with subtitles, because whoever was doing the subtitles for that did not give a fuck. And it makes it even funnier. It has Eminem in it and a couple other rappers. I think there may be one of merit in there.
50 Cent is for sure in it.
I mean, it is insane that thing was ever fucking released. I mean, and I literally mean this. Like, I'm pretty sure it was just all of them getting really fucking high and just filming shit. It's so bad, but they tried to piece it together like a cohesive story, and it's a fucking nightmare.
I'll explain it to you. They were watching the movie Teen Witch, which had a rap segment in it. And they're like, how can we make this better? And then they came up with the Hip Hop Witch.
Speaking of pieces of shit, I found the funniest Amityville one. It's apparently a sequel. It's called Killer Poop 2, the Amityville Poo. And the cover is just looks like a big demon poop coming out of the toilet, and then the bottom of the toilet lid just has like a black outline of the house.
Oh, so basically, what you're telling us is the Brian Baldwin story.
What?
Oh,
mean,
man.
Robert, mean.
Sorry, I would never watch
Oh,
that.
that's okay.
Is it streaming anywhere?
It is not. I don't know. I'm not sure how you watch this. Someone has watched it though.
Yeah, someone went to its only showing in whatever city. And like the fact that it's a sequel.
Yeah. So it looks like the other ones are not related. The first one's just called Killer Poop, and then there's a third one, Killer Poop 3, Night of the Living Poop. So I think he must just take
All right. I respect that these are just spoofs then.
Oh, yeah.
But they're still not as good as the AGFA release of the fucker films.
Oh, did I tell you that I did finally watch those?
I think so.
I don't know if I told you guys that or not. Yeah, they are. They're delightful. I absolutely love them. And I'll be honest with you. I think a mixture of like, the poor quality and the practical effects they were using. There was actually some parts that just make me kind of nauseous. But a lot of it's the camera work too. If you've seen it, there's a lot of twisting and zooming around and stuff.
It also has the greatest death of a baby doll.
Yes. Do you own those, Matt?
I do, yeah.
Matt, have you opened them yet?
Oh yeah, I'd have to check. No.
Well, I don't know if you know, but it's an easy watch, man. Like both films are 30 minutes long.
Oh, see, I watched
piece,
it. I guess you watched the director's cut then. I watched the original cuts. One's a little bit longer. They're a little bit longer.
Oh, I need to go on there and do that then.
I watched the movie.
I was gonna say we should do a video on those if you guys want before we say too much.
We'll do it after STECKVEMBER.
Oh yeah.
And after we do Natural Enemies. But let's talk about the incredibly strange creatures who stopped living and became mixed up zombies. I'm just going to say it. There were no zombies in this movie.
It's incredibly strange.
They were mixed up.
Yeah. So I'll give you a little preface. I was living in Minneapolis at the time, and I saw this at Best Buy on DVD. And I picked it up on the name only. I went home and watched it. This was one of the worst movies I had ever seen. And I mean, I'm not going to give anything away. I absolutely despise this movie. I think it might be the worst thing Steckler has done, even though this is his biggest budget. And after watching it many years later in this set, I hate it now for different reasons than I did before. I hated it before because this is not a horror movie, at least, but there's nothing scary about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I hate it now because he says it's a musical. It has musical numbers in it, but it is not a musical.
They're pretty good musical numbers, though.
If they were a spoof on SCTV or Saturday Night Live. The dancing's horrible. The songs make no sense. It feels like, again, these were part of a different movie up until the part where Cash Flag attacks.
Now I like that one. Those ladies were doing. What's it? Something about my mom slips a disc when she does the twist. She catch a shook or something. I don't know. It's so weird. But yeah, you are right. I mean, the songs have nothing to do. and it is an issue because it's not like you're just seeing like, oh, this is happening in the background. You hear a little bit of a song. No, it's your main focal point. You get the entire song. You get the whole act. So you would think that they would somehow have some, I don't know, reference to like what's going on in the film, or
I think the songs were there to pad out the movie to make it close to 70 minutes.
Yeah, it could be.
But all right, so here's the story. It's about a guy, his girlfriend, and their buddy. And I wasn't too sure who she was going out with until like halfway through the movie. Go to a carnival. They go on the Midway. Ray Dennis Steckler's character is enchanted by one of the dancers or a stripper, goes in, and he is hypnotized into becoming a killer, and then goes on a murderous rampage unknowingly to himself. You know, he doesn't realize, he realizes it, but he doesn't realize it. And then his girlfriend and his buddy realize it. They go after him, and then we find out this hypnotist has been throwing acid on people's faces, deforming them into becoming brainless killers for her. And there's a weird guy who hangs around her for some reason as her henchman.
Oh, you mean Ortega?
Ortega.
All right. I am dying to hear your guys' thoughts on it.
You can go, Brian.
I can say straight out the gates that I did not dislike it to the level it seems that you did. That's not to say I loved it or didn't have any issues with it. I found it to be pretty interesting. I don't want to say like there's a huge entertainment level there, because there are some, again, you know, all these musical numbers that are just kind of randomly thrown around. I did like Steckler's attempt there at real powerful acting when he goes to, him and his friend go to pick up his love interest, and the brother of the love interest is washing his car in the driveway. He's going to college, and Jerry's talking to him about it. You know, like, how's college going? You know, he's like, oh, it's good. You know, you should give it a try. And we've already established at this point that Jerry Steckler, he doesn't want a job. He doesn't want to do any kind of, you know, adult shit at all. But
Except
anyway,
for fuck. He wants to fuck.
And he's sitting on top of this car, and it you know, closes in on his face. He's like, the world's my college, man. And I was like, oh boy, he went there. He really
Academy Award winning scene.
Yeah. Like, my God, he's right. I turned off my TV, jumped out the fucking window, just started running. Yeah, you are correct with the horror elements. I mean, if anything, when they do come into play towards the end of the film, it's very comical, because as you mentioned, like, there's no zombies. What we end up with is, you know, what, 3, I think, people that we see in total with rubber masks on, and they're just kind of jumping around strangling people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hate to cut like right to the end of it here, but as far as my review of the movie, because there's a lot of things I think we could discuss, but I don't really have a tremendous amount to like say about it myself. There were some really odd choices, I thought, with the score, which was actually not that bad, I think, for the majority of the film. But at the ending, at our climax, you know, Jerry's basically, he's trying to keep his friend and his love interest away because he's been turned into this zombie, which he just has kind of like ketchup smeared on his face or some shit to make it look like he was in the middle of transformation. But the whole scene where he's running down the beach and he's like, you know, stay away, get away, and he's, you know, up on the cliff and shit anyway, he takes a tumble, you know, and he gets shot and he falls down and stuff. Well, when he's dead, like the closed captions say the same thing. It turns from like into like this triumphant music. So you go from like this kind of sad, like, oh God, this poor dude didn't ask for this. All this shit happened to him. He's just trying to save these people, and now he's dead. and it's like bum, 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 da, 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 you know? It's like, what? That was weird. Yeah, it was okay. I didn't hate it. Like I said, it just when you really sit back and think about it, a lot of it doesn't make much sense. But
this was his highest budget at $38,000.
Mhm.
Where did the money go besides the film? Where seriously, where did it go? Because it didn't go into story development. It certainly didn't go into makeup. It certainly didn't go into hiring actors. Because I'm guessing
how much was it for them to ride up in that ball thing? You know, when they were way up there in that big ball.
Actually, I guess because the whole carnival was built on a soundstage. I'm guessing that's where the money went for it. And when you look at Wild Guitar, which looked like it had a bigger budget than this, he did so much more with less. Then when we get into his other films, which had less of a budget, he did more with his money. And I don't know why this one. I'm guessing it's the title is what makes this one a cult movie. Because structurally, the story is bad. If you try to put logic to it, you're going to get a fucking headache because it doesn't make any sense. The characters are confusing. One of my favorite scenes is where he is walking through Skid Row and he hears a radio news story about the murders that he's committed. And I'm like, do you remember? Because I'm still not sure if you remember or don't remember that you committed these crimes.
Well, wasn't that right after he was hypnotized by the umbrella and started strangling his girlfriend? So I thought that he heard that and was like, wait a second.
All right, you're right. I'll be honest.
That's how I took it.
I haven't had time to rewatch this one before this. I watched it when I got the set a month ago.
Yeah.
So
I am working from it on memory.
Yeah, that definitely, you're right on that, Matt. That's I think it was just kind of like it triggered him into remembering. I do want to take a second though to talk about the brother as far as being like such an unbelievable character. Like he watches Jerry try to fucking kill his sister. And the mom is been against Jerry the whole time. She doesn't want her to date him because he didn't
go to college.
Yeah. But whenever they're trying to find him and basically save him and everything, when they figure out like, oh, he doesn't know what's going on and all this stuff, they're all in a room together at the girlfriend's house. And, the mom's like, we need to call the police, the only rational fucking person in the room. We need to call the police, and the brother's like, hold on, Mom. Maybe we should go try to help. I don't know. I was just sitting there thinking, because I have a sister. And if I watch someone try to strangle her to death, I'd beat the fucking guy up. But not Wally Beaver over here. He's like, okay, I'll help you. Anyway, I just thought that was weird.
It would have been something to see this in the theater when you watch the trailers of it. Real creatures will come off the screen and kidnap your woman.
Yeah,
I know that.
Did you guys notice the question mark in the title?
No,
it's weird, right?
Yeah. Did you guys watch any of the special features?
Oh yeah, I watched them all.
Okay, so I thought it was talking about the title. I thought it was interesting that he was getting sued to change the name of the movie from Stanley Kubrick or Universal.
Yeah, because of Dr. Strangelove.
Yeah, because he was originally the incredibly strange creatures who stopped living, or How I Became a Mixed Up Zombie or something. And I was like, oh, that seems very very similar to this very well-known movie that's coming out the same year. Like, did you really think about that, or did you hear about this other movie and we're like, yeah? Yeah, that just seemed weird. But
sure.
Yeah. Something else you were saying, Brian. Oh, about the how Steckler just had like ketchup on his face or something. They were saying that they had a talk before the movie about like those rubber masks, and he was like, I got 3. Do you think I'll need any more? And he was like, no, 3's enough. So then they didn't have a 4th mask.
Okay.
It's funny. He ran out of money while making this movie, and the guy who played his best friend Atlas King lent him $300 out of his own pocket.
Yeah.
Oh,
It makes you feel bad that this guy made little or no money with his movies.
Yeah, that's been kind of like my big takeaway so far is, I know you both of you like didn't really like this movie. I kind of like found myself really enjoying it because to me it reminded me of more like right off the bat, more of kind of like a sci-fi-ish kind of like Outer Limits kind of story kind of. I've always been really into those, so there's a lot that like really sucks, but I found myself like spots the movie like, oh, this isn't too bad. I saw that it's rated as like one of the worst movies ever. Everyone hates it, so I don't know. Knowing like what you said eventually happens, like no one gives him money, so he starts making porno, and I don't know. It is kind of sad because these first 2 I've actually really enjoyed.
I mean, Wild Guitar is a great dumb movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a film, it's a movie. The Thrill Killers, which we'll be watching next, is a hell of a lot of fun as well. But I think he tried so hard to make a horror movie and it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And part of it was he did not work from a script. I think a script is so important because it guides the film. You're not worrying about how it's going to conclude because you know that ahead of time. This guy did, I'm going to call, a lot of premature filmmaking where he had an idea, he had film, and he went out and made it and didn't think about what he was making.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get films that don't feel like the same movie. When we get to Rat Finka Boo Boo, starts out as a crime film, becomes a superhero combo comedy. Batman's popular. Let's make. So I think if he planned his movies out better, he might have had something. He might have had a different career. Because Wild Guitar showed that he is a competent director. The Incredibly Strange Creatures Who Stopped Living and Became Mixed Up Zombies has a better title than the movie it goes along with.
Yeah, and I thought one prime example of that in this movie was the dancer, like the main dancer who apparently was his wife. I didn't know that.
She's in all of his movies up to the Hollywood Strangler versus the Skid Row Slasher, even though they're divorced at that point.
Yeah. But yeah, like the whole time I was wondering, like, why is she like turned to drinking? Why is like what's going on with her? And I was like, that would have been cool to have some kind of backstory on that. And I think it was the commentary that Steckler did. He was saying like, yeah, at the end of the movie, I realized we never gave her a backstory. She just comes off as like an alcoholic. He was like there was supposed to be something there that drove her to that.
You know what would have helped with that?
Yeah.
A script.
Yeah.
I mean, I just kind of took it. Now, granted, it would have been nice to have some backstory there, of course. But anyway, I just kind of took it as a woman who was not happy with her life. She's doing this little stage show and just kind of like, this is where I am, and just depressed. That was just what I. Because whenever I was a dancer in one of those shows, that's all I would do.
What? You were a carnival dancer?
In another life,
He
maybe.
was a
I don't know.
showgirl, more specifically.
Yeah.
Lucky.
Can you show us some of your kicks?
Sure. Yeah. Oh, I'm old now. There was a this is very random, I'm sorry, but while it pops in my head, I don't want to forget about it. It was during the chase scene at the end of the movie, there's a shot kind of from like above, and they're all running after Jerry, the cops there and everything too. And anyway, they're like, Jerry, stop, Jerry. And then there's like this really awkward random Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry.
That's because that actor was from Greece.
Oh, I know. It's just the way it's put in. It just sounds so dumpy. It's like,
So I take it back. I take it back. The first time I saw this was on VHS when I rented it from Thomas Video, and then I bought it again on DVD. So I go back. At the end of the movie, Ray Dennis Steckler's character repeatedly yelled, "Go back." And I was thinking, as he did that, I bet most members of the audience wish they could go back and choose a different movie to watch.
So I did think it was cool. He was talking about, I think you might have brought it up, Robert, but they kept on like renaming the movie because they were actually like sending people out into the audience in the theaters like with these rubber masks on, pretending like they were going to abduct people and stuff.
Yep.
So they kept doing it over and over, so they had to keep on like changing the name of the movie so people wouldn't know like that was going to happen. I thought that was kind of cool. I guess it was like Steckler was doing it a lot himself.
Well, if you go and look at the trailers on here, they do have it under a different name as well, which I never knew until this viewing of it.
So he's at least getting like interactive. And I think I saw that he did the same thing with Thrill Killers. He like staged people in the audience to come get like abducted or something during the showings.
But he wasn't the first to do that. Like when I was at the Dismember the Alamo event, they were showing trailers before it of creatures will come off the screen into the audience. So I'm going to guess that was a standard thing for Z-grade movies like this. And just another way to get people in the audience, just that exploitation factor there.
Can you imagine that today? After like everything that's happened?
God.
It'd be a nightmare.
Yeah, someone would get shot.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. Yeah.
No, I couldn't imagine. But I mean, it was a whole different world back then. Like, if you go and look out the pictures of some of the theaters, just the way they had set up front, these movies looked like they were $1 billion films. Like they spent more money on promotion of it than they did the movies itself. But I don't know. As I will say, this is my least favorite Steckler film of his non-porn stuff. So anything else about this movie stand out? Brian, I was actually, I want to go back to something you posted about the bridge.
Yeah, God, that was giving me anxiety. Oh my God. Jesus, dude. The public transportation scene. Yeah, I had never seen anything like that. You know what I mean? From that time and everything. So I was like, oh, that's like when I first seen it. I was like, that's cool to see that. And then, there's a shot from inside the cart. So we've got these carts going on tracks and everything. And it's like it's going over like a bridge section or whatever. It just looked terrifying to me. I was like, this is going to fall apart. All these people are going to die. But that's just my brain.
You should see the documentary LA Plays Itself, which is named after the Fred Halstead porno. And that's one of the things I love about this movie is, in a way, Los Angeles is a character in and of itself. I mean, think about it. Like, that area probably doesn't exist anymore the way it was.
Sure. I mean, I hope they've updated that.
I think those things. I think those cars are gone.
Okay. It's probably for the best.
And all the times I was there, I've never seen them. But
you're talking the big rail that goes up.
Yeah,
I went on one of those in Hong Kong, but it was like a 89-degree incline.
were you being pursued by the Triads and
I can't talk
and had to jump out?
Jesus, man.
With one hand, go down the railing while shooting the bad guys with the other. And all the while thinking to yourself is like, man, I'm glad I saw those John Woo movies when I was a kid.
Well, how was that? How were you on it for long?
Oh yeah, it was probably like a 35-40 minute climb.
Nope. What were you doing in Hong Kong?
We just went with the girl I was dating at the time. Her dad had like moved there, so we went and spent like 2 weeks there. But it was, I mean, it was definitely a lot more structurally sound than the one that was in this movie, though. But
I'm fascinated by this. Did she pay for you to go?
No, I paid. This was like 2000. I'm gonna say like 6 or 7.
Man, someone's rich.
Oh, it was like the flight was like $1,500. It was like nothing compared to now, at least.
Yeah. You have a free place to stay while you were there?
Yeah. We just stayed at her parents' place.
And you got involved with the Triads?
I did get involved with the Triads slightly. But that's over. That part of my life is over now.
But that's how I can afford to buy every partner label release. It was a dangerous time, but it was a profitable time. We all made a lot of money. And some of us lost our lives.
Yep.
By the end, my girlfriend's father freed me from the obligation of my relationship to her and the Triads.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good ride. There were less or more scary rides. There was this like cable car that we were on for like 2 hours that was suspended like hundreds of feet above the ground. That was definitely that was rough, but the other thing was pretty nice.
Nice.
Jeez. Yeah, those gondola things, they scare the crap out of me.
Why?
I have a crazy fear of heights. Now roller coasters and stuff I can handle because they go so fast, but like, yeah, I'm terrified of heights. And now at Disney World, like you have to use them to get from your hotel to like some of the parks. So I just basically sit there clenching my wife's hand and closing my eyes until we make it. And when they first created that system there, it's pretty new. It's only been there a few years now. When we were down there, they fucking broke. Like all these things came crashing into each other, and I'm like, this is why I get scared of this stuff.
Wuss.
Well, maybe, but
all right. How many mixed up zombies would you give this movie, Brian?
I mean, I'm with Matt. Like I said, I didn't hate it. I have issues with it, but I think 3. I would go with a 3. I found it to be pretty enjoyable.
Matt, what about you?
I'm doing the same. I definitely liked it less than Wild Guitar, but I didn't think it was like a crap shot like everyone says. But I think my biggest thing with it was there was just a lot of like bad editing, like rough cuts to just weird stuff that doesn't make any sense for it to be in there. But overall, like, I enjoyed it. I'm going to go 3 as well.
I'm going to go 1.5.
That seems to be like the average that I've seen.
Way to be average, Robert.
I don't know. Let me look.
I mean, I can definitely see, why people would hate it, but I just didn't.
Yeah, same.
On Letterboxd, it's around 1.5, 2.
Yeah.
Though Elizabeth Purcell from Ask Buddy gave it 4 stars, and Justin Delacroix from Bay Street Video, The Important Cinema Club, gave it 3 stars.
Nice.
But my opinion is the only one that matters.
That's the Grindhouse Chic for you.
Yeah, yeah. But no, I mean, again, it only gets better from here with his filmography. And I'm very excited to talk about Thrill Killers next week. I'm actually going to rewatch that one next Friday.
Yeah, I started to rewatch this one with Joe Bob's commentary, and unfortunately ended up passing out. So I want to go back and watch the rest of that just to get some, more context behind the scenes stuff. So is the Ray Dennis Steckler commentary? It's pretty good.
That's the one I started watching. It was pretty good so far. I just didn't have enough time to watch the whole movie again.
Yeah, sure.
It's a quick movie. So what else do I want to talk about this week? Oh yeah, I was scrolling through Peacock last night and found out December is on there, and once again I could have saved money. Just
that's that newer partner release that you
from Culture Shock releasing.
Yes, okay.
Which seems like it's the most unculture shock release yet because it's a newer film.
Mm-hmm.
It's also over 2 hours.
Yeah.
One thing I want to start talking about probably in November, early December, are film discoveries of the year. It can be new film, it can be films we saw streaming, or films that we bought on Blu-ray, 4K, DVD that we hadn't seen before. Things that really impressed the fuck out of us.
Okay.
Because I think we can do a whole episode on that. Just movies that just blew us away this year.
Yeah.
Sure. And not to take away from that episode, but just you saying that, I actually think this has been a pretty damn good year for horror. As far as, new
I think
releases.
It's been a damn good year for releases, period.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there has been the label of Fun City Editions alone has put out so much great stuff. Criterion has put out a lot of great stuff this year. Vinegar Syndrome has as well. AGFA has. Paramount has just been putting out a hell of a lot of good releases as well, just with their little Paramount Presents line. Mm-hmm. I think it's Severin. Holy fuck, Severin has just put out a ton of great stuff this year. So
I'm gonna need you guys to give me recommendations on theirs. I don't do a lot of Severin regularly. I just every now and then I'll pick one up. But I would like to get more. I just don't really know where to start with them, I mean, I've got like maybe I'd say probably like 15 releases or so, just ballpark.
Then you've already started. But you know what? We will do for next week's episode. Let's do it. Let's go through our Severin recommendations for Brian.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Do that
because I know there's got to be some gems in there. I just don't know them.
There is. I want to end this show on a sad note. Bill Olson from Code Red passed away this week, and I kind of want to spend a few minutes talking about Code Red because they are a label I hate. They're also a label that I love. Do you guys have? And I will say I was banned from buying movies from Code Red because of an argument I got in with Bill over a disc coming in scratched and him complaining that I wanted to exchange it. So
did he replace it?
No, he didn't. He did not. I'm still very butthurt on that. But I always thought he was one of the most crotchety people in the boutique label. And here's a guy who, I mean, really was a pioneer after like Anchor Bay of putting out quality releases, at least on DVD, like Beyond the Door, Stunt Rock. I can't remember what else he's put out that Savage Sisters, not Savage Sisters. What's the Linda Blair movie that he keeps on putting out?
Savage Streets.
Savage Streets.
Savage Streets.
And then The Black Gestapo, Devil's Express. And I think as a label, Code Red was kind of left behind because he did not have the special features of Vinegar Syndrome, Arrow. And I think in a way that hurt him. I think his restorations weren't that great. But he always put out some unique films, and while I did not get along with him and he did ban me from buying from him, I kind of sad that he's dead.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with them. I have a couple releases from them, but yeah, it seems like from a couple of the streamers that I've watched, they have for some reason have had some like hatred for Code Red as well, but yeah, I'm not familiar with it.
When Arrow came to the United States, he went on tirade after tirade of how they were taking money from him, how they were setting themselves up in like luxurious offices in Los Angeles, which I don't think any of this was true. And he took an exception to it. He took an exception of Vinegar Syndrome releasing stuff. And it just seemed like it was poor me. I quit. I'm not releasing these movies. And then he would announce stuff that he was going to release, and they have never seen the light of day. Like he announced that he was going to release Water Power, which I don't know how or why he would want to release a movie about enema.
Why not?
In a world where Amityville poop.
Yeah, you're watching incest videos on YouTube.
No. I am watching a documentary, and we haven't even gotten to that part yet. That's like 40 episodes away.
No, I know. I don't know. I mean, they're one that I wish I would have given a little more attention to. I mean, I've gone through their kind of list, and it just seems like other labels that I already collect have released those movies since. So I've just never really got into it.
Yeah, I have a few, but I've just never really, like, I know the whole Banana Man thing. I've seen some interviews and stuff, but I never really dove into, the same as Matt, I just never really dove into that much. So
I think one of the biggest problems with his label, so he released Stunt Rock on DVD, and I remember my buddy Casey and I were walking. I was living in Seattle at the time, and we were walking in downtown, in the U District, and there was a theater there, and they were showing Stunt Rock. I had never heard of that movie. I had no idea what it was, but Code Red was presenting it, and I am like, I need to see this movie. And we bought tickets for later that night. Bill was there, did a little introduction, and then he was selling the DVDs afterwards. And I immediately bought one. It was a two disc set with a ton of special features. And neither Blu-ray that came out from Umbrella and Kino had all the features on it, unless you bought both of them, and then you got all of them. So his DVD was the definitive release of it. Beyond the Door, he had the definitive release of that until Arrow put their set out. But here's the thing. When I started collecting in the early 2000s, you could find Code Red at Best Buy. And that's where I bought most of them from. And I know I heard an interview with him with the Pure Cinema podcast where he said, I didn't make any money on that. I lost money. They sent me back all my property. I still have it sitting in a locker somewhere.
Did they say if there were any plans to keep it going, or is it pretty much done?
I'm sure whatever agreement they had with Dark Force will do it. And I know they had an agreement with Kino as well. They were releasing stuff. But like I picked up from Kino, the Devil's Express. All there were trailers as extras. And for the price of it, why would I want just trailers?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the movie itself isn't great. And that was the problem with his releases. Also, a bigger problem was if somebody complained about something, he would pull the release pretty quickly. And then wait till people demanded it to maybe put it back out there.
Instead of just fixing it?
Yeah. Because fixing it would cost money. I think he came from a time when he was the biggest, like we were talking about Criterion last week, that he was the biggest player in the boutique world until other labels came and did it better than him.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the whole thing with the Banana Man? I have always heard about that, but is that him? Is he the Banana Man?
He's the Banana Man.
Okay.
I don't know the story behind it, nor do I want to know.
All right. Enough said.
Yeah.
Look, I'm still dealing with being miserable of the way I'm still pissed off of the way he dealt with me as a customer. Like the disc came loose and it got scratched and it didn't play. He did not want to he basically accused me of wanting to get a free disc. I'm like, dude, I will send this one back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. He wouldn't just do it. I mean, I wouldn't be able to venture to guess why, aside from like pride or something, maybe.
I mean, if you look at customer service from Vinegar Syndrome, okay, we're sorry, we'll send this back out to you. Do you want me to return the other one? No, just keep it.
Although I am going on the year anniversary of them not refunding me for a poster they forgot to send me.
When was the last time you
one of the VSAs?
I'm done with Vinegar Syndrome. What was that?
Yeah. They're putting out what?
I email them once a month. They were getting pretty they were pretty quick to reply in the beginning, but I feel like now they know they have none of these posters left, so they just stopped, I think. Evie has gone cold on me.
Oh no.
I'd be fine with the refund. I mean, or just some store credit.
And maybe you'll be that much closer to getting your subscription in January during subscriber week.
Yes.
Yeah, you should go big. You should just be like, it's either my poster or a subscription.
Yeah.
That's crazy talk.
Okay, now hear me out. These posters are really important to me. I've given you a lot of my fucking money, Evie.
I forget which one it was, but it was one of the ones that was limited to like 40 of them or something.
Oh. Too bad I bought 39 of them.
You sick son of a bitch.
And guess what? They
Where's the
sent
last
me
one?
40.
Okay. There we go.
I'll sell you one for triple the price.
I was gonna try to go back and look to see which one it is, but
I've never ordered.
Only goes back so far.
I've never ordered a poster from them. I ordered a T-shirt once, and I wore it once, and I got a hole in it. so I can't like wear it anywhere else except for around the house.
Like, how big is the hole?
It's not big, but
Could you wear it for this?
yeah, I've worn it. It's my New York Ninja shirt.
Oh, right.
Just as long as I don't lift up my pits. So I'm going to end on one thing. So we're basically sure that the other release is not going to be Caligula this year, which I am happy about.
Yeah.
I am so happy it's not Caligula.
What do you want it to be?
I don't know. I'm you know what? I am just ready to be surprised.
Yeah, I do like trying to figure out the little riddles, but I don't think I have not been successful so far.
I have not either, and nor do I care. I mean, if it's I'm excited. I'm also excited about the 2 VSAs. And I've been looking like at Severance stuff, and I might not even be buying any of their stuff this year. I might just give Kino my money.
Save up during one of the sales.
Yeah.
The only one that I kind of thought of for Vinegar Syndrome, I know you shot down my one idea already, but I remember back when like Cloak and Dagger was getting ready to release, there was all this talk that it was actually going to be what's it called, joysticks.
Oh.
And one of the clues kind of made me think about that, because they said something came up like the week before they were done manufacturing them, and then like in quotation marks they said like, so we had to hit reset or something. So I wonder if that one is still going to come. It just made me think of like video game related kind of thing.
Joysticks was good. I mean, Scorpion released it years ago, almost 10 years, because I was living in Birmingham, Alabama at the time, and that would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would really like to see Vinegar Syndrome going into the teen sexploitation market, like at 80s teen sexploitation films, because so far only a handful have gotten releases. Scorpion's released a bunch. My Tutor, which I think is the best teen sexploitation film. It's also the sleaziest. What else? The Beach Girls, which is also pretty fucking sleazy. Kino's released Up the Creek. MVD is finally releasing a good version of Last American Virgin, which I hate to tell you might be my release of 2023.
Already.
It's compared to the bare bones editions we've gotten on DVD and Blu-ray so far, I'm excited at something that has a little bit of meat to it.
Okay. I'm holding you to that.
It's one of my favorite. I think it's my favorite teen sexploitation film.
Yeah, I have not seen these. I just looked up the Creek, and it is just some like naked woman as a raft. like drawn on the cover. So that one looks pretty interesting.
It's a fun movie. It stars from Animal House Timothy Hutton and the guy who played Flounder, and then the guy who played Pee-wee in the Porky's saga, and the guy who is the real life dad of Howard Wolowitz from The Big Bang Theory.
Interesting.
And it has an evil dean forcing these guys to go on a rafting competition because that's realistic.
Well, it looks like they definitely do.
I love that movie. I love that film. But
oh, Matt, I wanted to just very quickly, because this needs to be talked about more. We don't have to go into length here because I know we're wrapping it up. But dude, that Chip and Dale movie is so fucking funny. I don't think I've laughed that hard in a long time.
Yeah.
And I just absolutely, I had so much fun with it. I was very, very shocked. Yeah.
Yeah.
Robert, have you watched it?
I have not.
I've watched it
Sorry,
a couple
Matt, go ahead.
times, and then we had a like a little family function. What was maybe for someone's birthday or something, I can't remember, but everyone had like just had cake after eating a big meal, and we were all kind of just like getting into food comas, and they were like, "Oh, what should we put on?" And I was like, remember the Rescue Rangers? And they were like, "Yeah, we love that." So I was like, "There's a new movie out, we got to watch it." And I put it on, and the whole time, like, no one was paying attention, and I was like, "Guys, like, you just missed a really funny part." And then they would like pay attention for 10 minutes, and they were like, "This is just not good. Why would you make us watch this?" And I was just
Aw.
like, "Oh,
There really is.
I'm moving to a different family."
There's so much little stuff, and it's quick. You know, there's a lot of really quick humor in there. I just found it to be delightful. That one's definitely going to be getting a place on my shelf.
Yeah, I won't watch it. I don't like Chippendale.
You're missing out on this one, buddy. Yeah,
I am now. There's a lot of things I'm missing out on.
Come on, honey.
You know what?
One of them is CG now.
What?
I said one of them is CG now.
I don't care.
Yeah.
You know what I care about is we'll be back next week with our 7 recommendations for Brian. And we talk about the movie Thrill Killers. And it's going to be a delightful episode. I'll be in rare form. I'm a little bit hungover today because I had 3 beers last night.
Ooh.
So were they?
Wild.
Yeah, I did a show last night, and I went and hung out afterwards. And then I came home and watched more of those documentaries.
You are really trying to get to those incest ones.
No, I'm just fascinated by it. It's what's amazing about it is all this played over on YouTube.
Yeah. What is it called? I think I missed it.
The documentary is called Chris Chan, A Comprehensive History. It's on a channel called Geno Samuel 2.1.
Okay.
They're very well produced. Very well produced.
Chris Chan. Was that an actor?
No, that's his name. His name is Christian Chandler.
Oh.
Yeah.
What am I thinking of? Like Charlie Chan?
You're thinking Charlie Chan, yeah. And guys, pick up Cinema Speculation by Quentin Tarantino. It's such a good book. And maybe next year we'll take a deep dive into the movies he's talked about on there.
Next year's looking pretty full as we cover every single Amityville movie.
We are not covering every single Amityville movie.
We should, hey, while we're doing it, we should make a movie about watching all of those movies.
Oh, yeah.
And then
How did Robert die? How did Robert die?
Killer Poop 4.
Do you guys remember all right, I'm going to end it right here, but I'm going to end it on this. Do you guys remember the website Rate My Poo?
No.
It was an early website where people posted pictures of their doo-doos and asked people to rate them.
What? I would barf, man. Ugh.
Right, Matt is checking it out right now.
Yeah, I got it on my watch list. Oh, that's funny.
I remember one day at work. I remember one day at work, a bunch of us were rating poos for the entire afternoon.
The website does not exist anymore, but it has moved to the Rate My Poo Reddit now.
Oh. It would have been better if it was the Rate My Poo 4chan. All right. Cool. We ended this on a shitty note. We will see you guys next week, and one more subscriber is needed until I do my thing. So please subscribe.
This last talk will get them.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
See ya.